Hi, Kelsey.
Hi.
So last time I saw you was at the Loverly event. You were
Yes.
looking very chic with your fiance, Jared.
Thank you so much. That was a fun night.
It was super fun. I always love when Loverly gets to bring together like actually engaged couples in real life, and we get to have a good old time. And it's fun to be able to connect.
I agree. And honestly, it was so much more fun because the girls and their husbands or fiancés that were there just made the whole night. Like, it was a really good group of people.
Yeah, it was awesome. I think it was my favorite format because then everyone also got like a cute little mini photo shoot moment, which
I'm still dying.
okay, those photos. Emily's insane.
No.
She's so good.
So talented. Still love them. It's like, I think it's Jared's background on his phone. Like,
Oh,
they
love
were
that.
such good photos.
So good. We'll have to post so people can see the
Oh,
photos
yeah,
because they were so
definitely.
chic. So you're very close to your wedding date. And by the time we release this episode, your wedding will have already happened.
Yes.
So
We are 32 days away.
yes, the final countdown.
Yeah. No, literally. It feels like it's tomorrow. I'm having heart palpitations.
So walk us through let's start from the beginning.
Okay.
Let's start from scratch.
Okay.
For everyone here listening,
Nara Smith, start from scratch.
let's rewind. Give everyone a quick little background on you. You are a content creator, bride to be, but tell us how you became a content creator, the journey.
Okay. So when I was in college, for those who don't know, I'm 30. Instagram came out in 2012, and it was just like a fun little platform. But when I was in college in 2016, I was just about to graduate, but I had to do an extra semester at college. And I was so bored without my friends who had just walked and left and are now living in the city or whatever. And that was really the rise of my favorite content creators to this day, like Sincerely Jules, Tezza, Brittany Xavier, Ami Song. Like, all of these girls were killing it on Instagram. Their following blew up. And I was really inspired by like the creativity of that. And I always felt like content, and I guess I didn't know it then, but in college, I was always like curating my Instagram where I feel like my girlfriends would just post whatever from the night out previous. And I was just like a little bit more intentional. And so I decided to try my hand at a little content creation here and there, taking photos of my outfits, because that was the content that I was engaging
Style,
with.
fashion. Yeah.
Always style, fashion. A little bit of travel whenever I could. I was so broke. So like literally if I went anywhere that looked fun, I tried to make it look like extravagant and beautiful, even though I was dirt poor. And so yeah, that started happening with very little success, very little. And then
This is 2016.
This is 2016. Then in 2017, I finally graduated in January and moved to the city and just got jobs here and there. I worked in wholesale for children's wear. I worked in dresses. I worked in marketing, and all this entire time I was taking photos, working with photographers, like literally scrapping by as best as possible. I would take photos in Soho around 5 a.m. I'd go to work for 7. I would edit, I would post, I was just like so obsessed with it. And all this time, very little success. Like literally no one is seeing my stuff.
Nobody
am doing
cares.
this for my friends, basically. Like no one gives a shit. Everyone's making fun of me. Like they think like, who does this girl think she is? And I'm just faking it till I make it. And then over the pandemic in like 2020, late 2020, I would say, during the summertime into fall, that's when obviously the rise of TikTok was everywhere. But I was sort of the mindset like, oh, TikTok is not for me. I'm not a dancer. I'm not like a singer. Like these people are.
I remember when TikTok was literally the choreographed dances and
exactly
locked up in my apartment. And I'm like, let me try to learn one of these dances. And then I realized, because I was a high school cheerleader and I did choreography,
fabulous.
so I could dance.
Okay.
Right? I could not do TikTok moves. I was like, what's wrong with me? I guess I am aged out of TikTok.
So that's how I felt.
I felt old.
That's how I felt. And like Jared, we were in Boston with his family, and he has 5 younger brothers and sisters. And we were all like laughing at these jokes videos. And I'm like, oh, this isn't for me. Like this content isn't for me until Instagram Reels came out, copying TikTok, obviously. And I was creating videos, like the most cringe-worthy videos of me like doing these like weird transitions and stuff. Like, oh, so cringe. But then I was like, if I'm doing Instagram Reels, I might as well upload to TikTok. And I found you have to work the algorithm, right?
Yeah.
So I finally found my groove in that. I found content creators that I liked. And I had a video go viral on TikTok. And it literally, like people say this all the time, but it literally changed my life overnight.
How many, like what was viral? How many views?
So I posted it probably around, if I'm remembering correctly, it was like later in the afternoon because it was the winter time. I woke up to 1.8 million views. And because of the content, so let's get into it. So the video I posted was of another New York City influencer who copied one of my pieces of content and posted it. And she has millions of followers and I had literally zero. And I called her out. I was like, this is bullshit. She is known for doing this sort of thing and whatever. So I called her out.
Copying unknown influencers.
Yes. And she's known for copying brands, copying clothing brands and making it into her own clothing and like selling it. And there was just like a lot of drama surrounding her. So I felt inclined to speak up.
Will you share who it is?
Danielle Bernstein.
Okay. Whoa, she was quick with it.
Yeah. I mean, I have no problem sharing it because it's like she's known to do this. I'm sure if you asked literally anyone else, they would say the same thing. Like she's always on Diet Prada and like stuff like that. So anyway, I called her out overnight. 1.8 million views. And I went from 0 followers to like 77,000 followers.
Whoa. Overnight. Wow.
And because the nature of the content that she copied was a photo on Instagram. And I was like, here's my Instagram. Like, this is what I did yesterday. And this is what she's doing today. It was literally identical. Same photo, same outfit, same placement. And because of that, I thank my lucky stars every day. I was able to get all of the TikTok girlies to rally on my Instagram, which is so hard these days to like cross-pollinate. And so I went from like 8,000 followers maybe on my Instagram that I had been trying for years and years and years to garner followers to like 40,000.
Wow.
Brands were emailing me. Brands were DMing me and like the DM before that was like me begging to like work with them. I'm like, please, like I'll do anything to work with you. And like all of a sudden Urban Outfitters was like, I love you. Like, let's do something. And I'm like, what is going on?
She actually hooked you up by copying you.
I say this all the time. Like, that's my girl.
Yeah.
She can do it any other time she wants. Like whatever you want from me, I'll do.
Did she ever DM you?
No.
Acknowledge it?
No.
Nothing.
She made one post that was like I'm not gonna acknowledge this girl who just wants her 15 minutes of fame.
A little bit longer than 15?
Yeah, a lot
How's
longer.
it feeling?
Love
2
you,
years,
girl.
3
Thank
years?
You. I owe you my life. But yeah, it was crazy. And then that video kept blowing up. And I think to this day it's at like 6 million, maybe perhaps something like that.
So best thing that ever happened to you being copied? Okay.
Truly.
Now fast forward.
Yes.
As you're planning your wedding, which is very soon, you're sharing part of your wedding planning journey.
Yes. I'm sharing kind of all of it.
How does that feel any different or how do you feel?
No, I think the nature of me and my personality, I am an oversharer to a fault. And I really like including people in the process because I sort of use the content and comments and whatever as a sounding board. I'm like, is this a good idea? Is this being received? Like, not that if someone didn't like it, I would change, but I just like want to know what the vibe is.
I mean, that's kind of brave because I feel like the comments, people troll, they're nasty.
Oh yeah.
Like, doesn't faze you? How do you feel about it?
Yes, it does faze me, but then they're not invited. You know what I mean? And they're not coming and they don't even have a profile photo. So like they could be anybody or nobody at all. So I just I think having done this for a few years and seen every sort of comment you can imagine, I'm sort of desensitized to it now. I'm just like, oh, whatever. That person's very sad.
So before even planning your wedding and sharing on TikTok, what about your relationship? Like your engagement, the proposal? Take us back to that. Did you know it was coming? Did you design the ring? Were you surprised?
The first time? Okay, so the first time Jared and I got engaged, we've been engaged twice. We broke up once. But the first time we had been together for 7 years, I was totally surprised. Did not have any hand in the ring at all. I told him I wanted gold and I wanted a moissanite stone, and that was it. And we went to vacation. We were in the Hamptons with his family. Like I said, he's one of 6, so they usually rent a house every summer in different areas. And this time it was in the Hamptons, and it was really special because his best friend and my best friend both lived in the city. And so they came with us, which wasn't abnormal to me. I was like, oh, like they had come with us on vacation the year prior. And so it was really nice to have them there. He was acting so weird all day to me, like acting like I was a bother or like just like being like so moody. And I'm like, what is going on with you? You're usually like so even tempered. And then later I found out that he obviously proposed and it was really special.
So he was nervous.
He was shitting his pants.
Like, and so he was trying to like throw you off?
Yeah.
Or
he was like basically trying to get me away from him.
Okay.
He was like, get away. Like I just need a minute. And I'm like, what do you mean you need a minute? What do you mean? We're on vacation. Like we're in a house together. Like you can't just get a minute. So, but also earlier that day, everyone was like, what are you wearing? What are you wearing? Oh my God, you look so beautiful. You look so beautiful. That color is stunning on you. And I was like, why is everyone being so over the top nice? And I thought.
And he's being a total dick.
Total dick. And, well, not total dick. He was just like being so like moody.
Yeah.
And we were going to dinner, which is why everyone was dressing up.
Mm.
And so I thought I thought it was going to happen like at dinner, after dinner, but it happened in the backyard. Like he totally threw me off.
Oh, so you knew it was
I just
coming.
had a vibe. I was like, he's being moody. Everyone's being so nice to me.
Yeah.
I was like, maybe it's happening today. So I put the dress on that I thought I was going to get engaged in or wanted to.
Had you talked about it?
No. We had talked about like wanting to get married. Yeah. But I didn't know it was going to happen on this trip.
And how old were you at the time?
I was 26.
Okay.
And we had been together for, actually I was 27. I was turning 27 in December. Yeah. So I was 26. But yeah, he totally threw me off and he proposed. He played like one of our favorite songs. It was really beautiful. I was so surprised. And then the ring was like perfect and beautiful and I loved it. And then 4 months later we broke up.
Yeah. So you called off the engagement. So
yes.
What was that conversation and why?
He wanted to move to LA. And I think coming out of the pandemic, we were, things were so good for me. He had left his job, was having a hard time finding his job. He had recently been diagnosed with like a thyroid problem. There were like so many variables going on. I was like at a high, he was at a low. And it was just like, I think I need to do this for myself. And I was like, I don't want to move to LA. Like things are finally happening for me. Mm-hmm. And so ultimately that's why we broke up. Cause I was like, I can't move to LA. And like, if this is something that you so need to do, you should go and do it.
Why was he moving to LA? He had a job there or he just...
Friends and like just like sunny weather.
Yeah.
And he wanted to explore like working in the music industry because he's always been very musical and very talented at that. And I was just like, I can't move there. I'll be miserable and I know I will. I just had this intuition like I can't go. I can't do it. I know wow. it wouldn't work out. And it didn't work out for him and I knew it wouldn't, but sometimes you have to like let people figure stuff out. So
you gave the ring back?
I kept it.
You kept the ring. Mm-hmm. You said, we're done. Was it amicable? Was it like a devastating breakup?
It was devastating for both of us, but I think we both knew like that was the right decision in the moment. Like it was a very calm conversation. There was no like screaming, fighting, calling each other names. It was very much like, okay, we're two adults that love each other. And if this is something that you need to do, like I'm going to have to let you do it.
And assuming you had already shared your engagement online.
Yeah, that was the toughest part.
Yeah.
Honestly, that was the toughest part.
Did you hide the engagement? Did you take it down? Like
No. I basically just, so I was very vocal about the wedding. We hadn't really gotten to any sort of planning stage, which I thank God for, because if I had lost all that money too, like I'm sure people who have gone through this, like the deposits are insane and you don't get them back. So luckily we didn't lose any money in that regard.
So you hadn't even started planning?
No. Okay. No. So we were basically just engaged. That's it.
And were you living together? Yeah,
we had been living together for years. So
no, not a light breakup if you were living together.
Not a light
breakup.
Yeah. We had been together since we were 20. So that was tough, but I had the ring. Where was I going with this? Oh, the reason why I had to share it. So I was very vocal on TikTok about it, making videos like, I don't know what my aesthetic is. Like, let's talk about it, like whatever. And people were very excited. And one night after we had broken up, I had gone out with my girlfriends and I wasn't wearing my ring. Oh, and before that, people were like, where's your ring on TikTok? Like, where's your ring? I'm like, I put it on my dresser. Like, oh, I forgot it, whatever. I went out and this girl came up to me and she was like, oh my God, I love your content. And she like grabbed my hand. She goes, oh my God, where's your ring? And I was like, oh shit. Like this one girl like kind of made it feel like everyone knew sort of. Cause it was like now it wasn't just the internet. It was real world too. So I made a video. I talked to him actually. He had already been in LA and I was like, I need to make this video. You know the nature of this. Like I can't keep getting the questions. It's really painful. I made a video and everyone was so nice, so supportive. I was getting DMs from people sharing their stories. It was really lovely. And then we got back together like 7 months later.
Okay, let's pause for a second. Because that in between, right? So 7 months. He's living in LA. You're in New York.
Yep.
You're creating content. Oh, same apartment. You
same
didn't
apartment.
move. And did you date? Were you...
Yes. I went to Europe for 2.5 months on like a little solo eat, pray, love mission. It was honestly the best thing I could have ever done. It changed me as a person in so many ways, not even just like meeting guys or like going on dates, which I didn't really do very much of. I found like my independence again, I think. I think when you're with someone for so long, you become codependent, you rely on them. It's so normal, but I think I didn't realize like how far gone I was or how far gone both of us were. And so going to Europe and sleeping alone in a bed in a hotel in a foreign country that I've never been to, really, it made me feel like I could do anything. Traveling in a country that I don't know the language alone made me feel like I was the bravest, the most courageous. I found my independence and my, honestly, like my personality. I think I became like who I am right now.
It's funny, when I was in college, I did my summer abroad right after a big breakup. And I felt the exact same way. Because when you're in a relationship, especially when you're young, which you had been with this person for a really long time, it was like a 1.5 year relationship. But in college, it was like a real relationship.
Totally.
And same thing happened. All of a sudden, when you're going to a new place, when you're exploring new things, it's actually like your brain builds like new neural connections.
Yes.
You're like awe-inspired by things you've never seen before, languages you haven't heard, or hearing them, on a regular. And it really kind of almost instilled a new type of confidence and bravery. So when you were saying that, I was like, I totally get it. And then honestly, it resets you as a human. And then now you start to put out this confidence of like, oh, I can handle anything.
Yeah. And I think it was tough for Jared and I to like have conversations about even getting back together. Cause I remember he had texted me one time and I was in Zurich and I was like, I don't even have time to talk to you. Like I'm in Zurich. I'm having the best time ever alone. I'm literally doing nothing.
You're also like 10 hours ahead.
10 hours ahead. I'm like, I don't have time for you. I'm going out. Like I'm going to the bar. And it like rewires your brain because now I don't have time to be sad about a breakup. I'm on Google Maps. I'm listening to new music. I'm eating new food. I'm seeing new faces. Like it really was the best thing I've ever done in my life.
And you're creating content that whole time.
The entire time.
And now this time you're actually like going to legit places, not just taking photos.
Yeah. Now I'm making my own money and I'm like, wow, how the other half lives. Literally.
So then how did you guys reconnect?
It was like towards the end of the summer. I think it was like end of July, early August. He had been texting me. We have 2 cats together, and I think Pablo got neutered or something. And
Pablo?
One of my cats, Pablo. Yeah,
okay.
We were talking, and I was like, "Yeah, he's getting neutered or something like that." That's how the conversation started, and it just kind of our relationship has always been very easy, and he's been my best friend for so long that it's hard to not flirt, but it's hard to not like get into the same groove. Like I loved this person. That never ended. And so we just kind of kept on having a conversation, and I had just gotten back from Paris and I was going back to the city, and I was just having a hard time because there was some family drama that I was going through. And then my apartment rent got raised like $2,000. And so I had to leave.
Post-pandemic? When all of a sudden,
yeah. All of a sudden they were like, hi, yeah, your apartment's $7,000. I'm like, ugh. What? And I was like, trying to find an apartment on my own and I couldn't. Everything was so expensive and everywhere I was applying needed a guarantor. And I'm like, what do you mean? I'm making enough money. And it just was like a blow to my confidence. I was back home. And then I had to make the decision of moving back home for a few months just to like, get my bearings, whatever. So I was like at a low. And we started talking and it just kind of rolled from there. We were just like, this is not working out. He was not happy in LA. He was moving back. He was like, I'll come home tomorrow. And he booked a flight at 4 p.m. and came back and never went back to LA.
Okay, so the second engagement then.
Yes. We moved back in together in December and we were like in secret dating this entire time. Like
in secret from who? Family?
From
friends?
everyone.
Okay.
Not really family and friends. They knew about it. They weren't happy by any means. My mom and dad were very happy, but my friends were a little apprehensive. They were like, what are you doing?
What about his family?
Oh, they could not have been happier.
Oh, okay. So the family was on board. It was just the friends.
It was just like my friends who saw me so devastated that I think are like, girlfriend, like, what are you doing? Yeah. But I have to reiterate, there was nothing crazy that happened, to be fair. Like we went through a breakup and that's hard, period. And so we moved back in together. I kept him secret from the internet for like 6 months because I was like, I can't handle this. People were so nice when we broke up, but when I announced that we were even just dating again, oh my God, people were so mean. People are so mean. They love you when you're single and like I feel like relatable. But when I got back together with him, people were mad at me. I was like, what the hell is going on? You guys were like so ride or die for me and now you're mad at me? Come on.
Like in the DMs or in the comments?
DMs, in the comments, like, girl, are you serious? No. Like, what are you doing? This is the worst mistake you'll ever make. Like, guys.
Are those people still mad when you're planning your wedding or they're over it?
No, I haven't really heard anything since. Thank God.
Yeah.
Please stay away. And so when we decided in the summertime, I had so much fun in Europe the summer before on my own that I felt like it would be so full circle to go back to Europe in all of these places and make new memories with him. Because like in Europe, while I was having the best time ever, and I'm sure you can attest to this, there were a lot of times where I was sad.
Oh, it can be also very humbling and sad.
Okay.
Traveling on a train by yourself, even though you're eating the most delicious croissant you've ever had.
A sad song comes on, it's over. Tears. In Paris the summer before, I literally held a phone because this guy was like, can you take a photo of me and my fiance? My girlfriend. He leans in and he goes, can you take a video? I'm going to propose to her.
Oh my gosh.
So here I am behind a camera.
He chose the right person though. Content creator.
Totally. I'm literally still. I'm like crying. I'm like, this is so beautiful. He's like twirling her around. I'm like, this is beautiful. I'm crying. And then he gets down on one knee and I video their proposal.
Wow.
So I decided, I was like, you know what?
Was he a Parisian local or was this a tourist?
Tourist.
I mean, I'm glad he found you, but bro.
Brave.
It's like $200 to find a local photographer to capture that moment. Worth it.
Brave. Yeah. I would never have given my phone to someone in Paris. Like, hey, can you take a photo of me? But like.
Of the engagement.
Yeah. Like he had no plan.
Yeah. God bless him though.
Yeah, whatever.
Seemed like it was a very intimate moment.
It was
Worked
beautiful.
out well for him.
It was beautiful for him. So I went home and like laid in a bath and ordered Pizza Hut in Paris. Like I was like so down bad.
That would be a low.
I was so down bad.
Pizza Hut in Paris. Yikes.
Yeah. So traumatic. So the next summer that when we were together, we were dating again. I was like, let's go back to Europe. Let's make all these new memories. Cause like, I don't want to like have this like sad view, also happy view, but I want to like remake memories with you. And then we decided that right before we left, we would redo my ring together. And he would repropose in one of the cities that we were going to. And so he chose Copenhagen.
Amazing.
Yeah, which was the first stop of our destination, which I'm so happy because like, I already knew it was coming.
You got to enjoy all of Europe as fiancés again.
Yeah. It was really healing, like so healing. I walked along the same place that I filmed the proposal. We stayed in new places. I was able to like show him the restaurants that I tried alone. It was just like it was very healing.
Amazing. How long ago is that?
Last summer.
Okay, so now you've been planning.
June. Yeah. Yep. And we started planning literally right after, because I was like, we're not messing around now. This is gonna happen within a year. I don't want to wait any longer. We don't want to wait any longer. So let's get to it.
So tell me about finding your venue.
Oh my God, guys. Okay. So I was on the Knot. I was looking everywhere. I'm from upstate New York. He's from Boston. And we wanted to get married in upstate New York because I have a lot of family that don't really travel very well. And so I wanted it to make sense for them and make it easier for them. And everywhere north of Albany, which is where I'm from, like 2.5 hours north of Albany, everywhere is a barn.
Yeah.
Everywhere is rustic. It's got antlers, taxidermy. It's like wooden floors. Like everything is so, so rustic. And the first place I saw in Vermont that was affordable and not a barn, I booked. I was like, done. But also it's like the most stunning venue ever.
Because Vermont is not so far from New York.
It's about 4 hours because it's mainly getting out of New York. That's like tough.
That takes the most time, yeah.
Yeah. It's about 4 hours from New York. It's like 3 hours from Boston. It's about 2.5 hours from my hometown.
First venue you saw.
Literally.
That wasn't a barn, you booked it.
Yep.
And were you actually going to look for a venue or were you just vacationing in Vermont?
No, I booked it without even seeing it. I put a deposit down. I was like, this is it. Did you look at a video? I saw
photos?
I saw photos. I can show you and maybe you can like impose a photo here, but the garden is to die for. And I just knew that it gave like South of France vibes. And I knew
that's my vibe. Just say that, I'm good.
Yeah, it is. It literally looks like Versailles. Like it is so beyond stunning. And I knew that if I didn't do it then, I think I put $1,000 down. I was like, save this date. Save it for me, please. And then we went and looked at it later on, but I knew it was the one. I'm very decisive.
So you found the venue. Did you hire a planner?
No.
So you've been planning this whole thing on your own?
I now have a planner.
Okay.
She was like a 5-week out planner, but up until like literally last week, I've been doing it on my own.
That's very brave of you as well for a destination.
Okay. Yeah. I didn't realize a lot of things when I first started. Cause when I think destination, I was like Mexico, Italy, France, not Vermont, but it is. It technically is a destination. It's been very humbling.
Yeah. And you don't really have any ties to that area outside of that's where you want to get married, which sounds amazing.
Yeah.
So tell us about this humbling experience of planning a wedding without a planner in a destination that you don't know.
Yeah. So it's been just like, you don't know where to start unless you're planning a wedding. I said this earlier today, like no one knows the difficulties or the intricacies of what goes into planning a wedding until you're in it.
But even though people will tell you and warn you, it washes over you.
Yeah.
I literally say, get a planner if you can. Like some budget, carve it out. Like I've said it over and over and over again.
Yeah.
And for whatever reason, people still think they can do it fully themselves. And look, you can do a lot of decisions on your own.
Totally.
If you're organized, if you're design focused, whatever, you can. But you need someone to help you.
Yeah.
So you learn the hard way.
Well, to be fair, I will say planning a wedding on my own as a content creator is probably 10 times easier than someone who has a full-time job, because it is a full-time job. I have so much more time on my hands to make these
and it
decisions.
is now part of your job because you're creating content about planning your wedding.
Exactly. So I feel like I'm like really immersed myself in it. I feel like if someone asked me to plan their wedding, I feel like I could do it. That's how I feel. I might not want to, but I feel like I could.
Watch out. Wedding planners will come for you.
I know. It's very hard. I love you guys. But my 5-week out planner, she's such an angel. Like, thank God for her. Just like timing wise, like the scheduling, like I knew I needed help. I thought I was just going to get like a day of coordinator, but she offered that plan and I was like, done. Perfect. But yeah, planning it has been very humbling. I have a lot of friends though that have been really helpful, especially like in the industry and fashion who have been helping me with like design choices or, those wedding websites. A lot of them will give you a timeline of like when you should plan what. So those have been very helpful too.
Going back to kind of your order of planning, you booked your venue. Mm-hmm. What did you do next?
Well, luckily, I didn't really have to do much after that because my wedding venue has an exclusive like collaboration with a florist and a catering in the city.
So it was narrowed down for you.
Yeah, which I loved.
Which some people love, some people hate.
I loved it.
Okay.
And the less decisions I have to make, the better. And I was so happy about that. And then after that was my dress, which is
where'd you go? Because now at this point your wedding's over. So
my wedding's over. Yeah, this is coming from the future. So I tried on at Jenny U, and that was the first wedding dress I tried on, and I didn't love it. It was very modest, very traditional, and it just didn't feel like me. And then this is very serendipitous. Do you know Hope Levine? Mm-hmm. Okay. So I ran into her at another show. This was during Bridal Fashion Week in October. Ran into her. We exchanged information, and I was like, yeah, I'm getting married next year. I'm looking for wedding dresses if you have any. Because if you aren't a bride, you don't know wedding designers.
No. Also, anyone listening, Hope Levine is basically a wedding stylist.
Incredible content creator, incredible wedding stylist. Like if you have any questions, like go to her page. Like she answers everything about styling and wedding dresses. So I saw her, talked to her because I was like a fish in like no water. I was like, help, I need help. I'll help. And she told me that her best friend owns this brand called Sync. And I had been mutuals with their TikTok page from the first time I was engaged. And they were like much smaller than they are now because now they've exploded because they're so talented and they should explode. And she was like, let me text Macy, the designer. Let me see if she has any room because they're randomly in New York for a trunk show that they're not showcasing. They're not telling people about. They're just kind of booking a studio and bringing dresses. I was like, oh my God, yes, slay, get me in. She got me in the next day at 4 p.m. I tried on 5 dresses with them, and I can't wait to tell this story on TikTok. Oh, it's going to be so exciting. But I tried on 5 dresses. The third dress that I tried on, it was a really rainy day, very cloudy, very gross day in October. First 2 dresses, still rainy, cloudy. The third dress I tried on, which is my dress, it's called the Gale, the sun came out. Literally, and the time of day that I was positioned in this one studio, beam of sunlight on me, beaming sunlight. I have photos to prove it. Like, I can't wait to post the video. But then as soon as I took it off, put on the other 2 dresses, cloudy, rainy, disgusting. Only for that like 10-minute period that I had this dress on did the sun come out.
Wow.
So I went home and I was like, you know what? Like, the universe is trying to tell me something. I should really try and like tap into this. And then I had a call with them and they were like, we need like at least 8 months. So like, let us know by next week because this dress was like perfect on you. And you looked so happy, whatever. And then I tried on some more dresses and I just like couldn't stop thinking about that. And like I said, I'm very decisive. I'm a Capricorn. I knew I needed to get it done and I bought it then and there. But then I went on this whole other journey of dresses. I tried on more dresses post buying my dress.
For what reason?
For content.
Oh, for content.
One, to make sure that I, like selfishly, I was like, I need to make sure I made the right decision. Like, let me try on like the entirety of every fashion line. Like, let me try on every sort of dress just to make sure. Cause like a month out, I could probably like be like, guys, never mind. Keep my deposit or whatever. But like, this isn't going to work. Because they were very—
A month out?
No. I'm saying like a month after I had put the dress.
I was like, no, you can't cancel that dress was made.
No. And then I also was like, I wanted to try on more dresses that were different and, you know, make content about it. But every dress that I put on, no matter how expensive, how beautiful, whatever, never made me feel the way that one felt. And I think it was like me just making sure that I made the right decision.
That was, again, very bold of you because I have heard multiple brides talk about the regret. They buy a dress and then they go and they keep looking.
Yeah.
And then they want another one. And wedding dresses are not cheap.
No.
And
God, no.
then they have to sell the other dress or it's a whole nightmare situation. So thank God you did not.
I know. I was like kind of kicking myself in the ass because I was like, if I find a dress that I'm obsessed with it. But
It was good confirmation. You love the dress.
Great confirmation. And I needed that because I'm very decisive, but I wanted to make sure that I was making the right decision because I didn't go wedding dress shopping with anybody. I went alone the entire time and I didn't have anyone really to be like, wow, that's the dress. But also at the same time, if someone did tell me that that was a dress, I would probably be like,
is it?
I don't think it is. You know what I mean? Like I didn't want anyone's comments.
So are you planning to have other looks or is it just that one dress?
So my dress, the skirt of it comes off and it's a 3-piece. It's like a petticoat skirt bodice. And I have like a mini version of the skirt that I'm going to put on. It's like a little A-line.
So it's going to have different looks with that one dress.
Yeah.
Love that. What about a bridal party? What did you decide to do?
So my bridal party are wearing all different dresses, different colors, silhouettes, shapes, textures, patterns.
How many?
I have 8. Jared's 3 little sisters, my 2 best friends, my 2 cousins, and a friend from college.
What was that like having to narrow down? Was it an easy decision of who the 8 were?
Yeah, it was an easy decision. I knew that I wanted my 2 best friends are going to be my maid of honors. I knew that that was solid. I knew my friend from college, solid. My 2 cousins.
So it was family.
Yeah, it was like family and friends, like my closest friends. Yeah, it was a very easy decision.
So it sounds like it's been a pretty low drama situation, but what has been the drama of planning your wedding?
Oh my God.
Where has it been?
The drama really has only been like people saying no to coming. I'm like, what do you mean you don't want to come? Or like, what do you mean you have other plans? Like, did you not get my save the date? Like,
how many people did you invite?
125.
And how many RSVP'd yes?
So far, 75.
So 50 people said no.
25 are confirmed no. And I was just like, okay.
And 25 still haven't RSVP'd 30 days out.
Mm-hmm.
Are you harassing people for?
Well, what's today? Today is the 24th. They have until the 1st. And that's when I'm going to be like, you're either coming or you're not. Figure it out
So
now.
your budget is still kind of up in the air because all of the numbers on food, drinks, like that's like 50% of your still unknown.
Yep.
Were you not anticipating that with the destination wedding?
No, I was like, oh, people can drive. They don't have to get in my mind, I was like, oh, people aren't flying. They'll do it. If it's within a 3.5, 4 hour drive, like they're going to come. I just like didn't think that people would have other stuff going on. You know what I mean? Like, especially having sent the save the dates, I sent them out. Oh my God. We booked the place in October. I think I sent them out the first week of November. Like I was like very on top of it.
You gave people
lots and lots of notice. That's why I was
like,
is it
hard? Is the place in Vermont, is it hard to get to? Is there not hotels around there?
Lots of hotels. It's like a wedding destination town. They're very equipped. They have plenty of like Airbnbs, hotels, motels, everything.
So you were shocked by the...
Yeah. I was just like, oh my God. Okay.
So are you going to message people?
Yeah. Be like, what the fuck? Hello, I'm throwing this like really fun party. Like, why don't you want to come?
Well, whoever ends up making it will be the right people.
Yeah.
And honestly, the people that want to be there will make the effort to be there.
Yeah. That's what I'm seeing.
But also destination weddings. Again, Vermont, you're thinking it's not a destination.
I know.
Absolutely is a destination. And there's additional cost for people to get a hotel and all of that. So
I understand their reasoning. Like no one's just been like, no, I don't want to go. Like everyone's had like a reason. I'm just like, come on.
So that, to me, that is the beauty of a destination wedding, is that you can extend the invite to more people.
Yeah.
But by nature of it being a little bit more challenging to attend, you're going to have less people show up.
Yeah. Which is fine. I have a friend who had like a 300 plus wedding. And I was like, oh my God. And she was like, I don't talk to half of those people anymore.
Yeah.
And so I knew going in like smaller, the better.
Yep.
And the people that will show up, who want to show up, will show up. And like, that's really good for my life, right? Like I want people to show up for me and I want those people in my life and around me. So I'm not so hurt by it. I'm just like kind of surprised, you know, it kind of, the people show their true colors, I guess, on like what's important.
I always find that a lot of the drama is not always in the planning, but it's in all the people surrounding it. It's the family.
People.
It's
oh my God, it's the people.
As a content creator, brands are always looking to collab and do things for trade. Is your wedding #sponsored?
No, it's not #sponsored. The only things I was trying to be very intentional with the sponsorships that I got. And I'm in a very blessed and privileged place that I could have gotten a lot of it sponsored. But I wanted to make sure that my wedding was going to be fun and not work. Mm-hmm. And I was very intentional with the sponsorships that I took in that they helped more than just me. So, for example, I worked with Anthropologie Weddings, and they were so kind and gave me my rehearsal dinner look, which I love. It's so cute. But they also gave me my bridesmaids dresses, which is a huge lift for them. I knew the dresses that I wanted, like a V. Chapman dress is very expensive. It's like upwards, it could be anywhere from like $700 to $900. And I would never expect my bridesmaids to shell out that kind of money. That's so out of the realm of possibility. And I was trying to be a very like down to earth, like understanding bride in that respect. And so they were very kind and gave me those dresses for them, and my grandma's dress and my mom's dress.
So they dressed the bridal party, the wedding party,
yes,
on your side.
Yeah. And I'm so happy about that. Also, Generation Tux gave Jared his tux and also his groomsmen free rentals, which was so kind.
So the fashion stuff that is easy to share.
Easy
and
to
it's
share.
It's going to be in photos and videos anyways.
Exactly. It was a low lift and it didn't require any additional filming or talking or anything like that. And it helps more than just me and Jared. And also, I have to shout out Old Navy because they're sending me a bunch of flip-flops, which I love you, Old Navy. I used to work at Old Navy in high school and in college. So like, what a moment for me.
Flip-flops for the guests or for
the guests, for the dancing portion. Like they're going to be like handing out flip-flops like in baskets and shit. So cute. So yeah, I wanted to make sure that I wasn't like hashtag adding everything because come on. I don't want my wedding to look like Coachella, you know? Like I don't.
Are you going to be hiring a content creator for?
I am. So one of my good friends, her name is Caroline. And by the time this comes out, she will be engaged. She doesn't know this. She's getting engaged this week. I'm so excited for her. But she's coming to the wedding and going to help me film all of my TikToks.
Do you have a full list of the shots that you're going to do?
It's not going to be so like intense in that way, but like I've been sending her a bunch of TikTok trends that I've been seeing. And I'm like, if you need to pull me aside and tell me to lip sync something, do it quickly. And she's like very quick like that. And I was like, you're the girl for me. Because I'm also not very, if you look at my content, I'm not a perfectionist in that way. Like done is better than perfect. So just get me to do something.
So you do have a curated list of TikTok trends that you've identified.
Yep. Over
the wedding weekend?
Yeah.
So like maybe like the spinning thing with your partner and then changes. No?
Like less that, more there's that one trend of like all the bridesmaids grabbing each other.
Oh yeah.
And like they walk and then they keep grabbing one more, like stuff like that.
Got it.
Yeah.
What things during the wedding planning process surprised you?
Honestly, people wearing the dress that I bought.
What do you mean?
Like I bought the dress, my wedding dress. I have seen so many other girls post in it that I was almost in this like cloud of like, oh, that's my dress, no one else's dress sort of.
So meaning it's a very popular wedding dress this year?
I don't know.
It has an 8-month lead time.
I know. Well,
or is just trying on the samples?
Trying on samples. A few influencers I've tried on at Sync and tried them on and posted similarly to what I did. So I can't fault them for that. I'm not going to be like, take this down. That would be ridiculous. But Natalie Joy got married and that's the dress I'm wearing.
Was that shocking to you?
Extremely. I was like, what?
So now 30 days out, you're going to like try to change it a little bit?
I did change it a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah. After seeing what she wore, she looked stunning and beautiful, but she styled it. And I think Hope actually helped her. She had like a veil. I'm not having a veil. But she had it off the shoulder. And I realized that like maybe off the shoulder isn't for me. So we turned it into a strap. Sort of like an Alex Cooper vibe.
Speaking of Alex Cooper, I feel like ever since her wedding came out, that's like the wedding that everyone's been talking about.
I know. And who would have thought? Who would have thought?
I mean, she had like 7 dresses.
Yeah,
the fashion was pretty epic.
Yeah, I feel like when you have her sort of funds and time, you can do anything. But like, I'm on a strict schedule. I can't change a million times. Like, I have things to do during the day. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not even doing a hair change because I don't have time.
Oh, during the actual wedding day, your timeline is so tight.
Yeah, very tight. So
Are you going to do a first look?
No.
Are you going to do announcements of your bridal party?
No.
I literally just posted about this like last week, and people were like offended.
Why?
By me saying like, oh, I don't like bridal party like announcements. I always get like awkward. They're kind of cringy to me.
Yeah.
And they're like, it's cringe that you're saying ick or whatever it was.
Okay.
But there are some things about weddings that like I personally don't prefer.
Oh, I have like a full like list of 20 things that I'm not doing.
Go ahead.
Okay. Where do I start? I'm not doing the announcements. We're not doing our vows in public, like at the altar. We're doing them privately, like in the morning, like over coffee. I'm not sleeping apart from him. I'm not going to be doing the garter toss. I'm not doing the bouquet toss.
Cake cutting?
Yeah, we're cutting the cake on the dance floor.
Speeches?
Oh, speeches are being made at the wedding, at the welcome party the night before, not at the wedding. There is nothing I hate more. Well, speeches cringe me out. Like, I hate them.
Same.
Oh, God, I hate them so much. I hate listening to them. I know they're sweet, and I hate them.
It's only because some people are not comfortable public speaking.
And it's obvious.
Yeah. And then if it's a good friend and you want them to have a moment, it's write me a letter. Write me a letter, and you don't need to read it out loud to everyone.
I know. When I gave a speech, like I'm not a public speaker whatsoever. I was shaking like a leaf, and I was like, oh my God, this is so embarrassing and so cringe. But yeah, so speeches are being made at the welcome party.
Doing a change? No change.
A change. I'm changing the skirt, and that's it.
Oh, that's
nothing
right.
like crazy, and like a shoe change.
What about toasts?
No toasts. We're doing one welcome, like thank you so much for coming, but like that's about it.
First dance.
We are doing a first dance.
Choreographed?
No. Oh my God, no.
Why not?
I don't think I could do that. I'm not a dancer.
Neither
is he. Like,
we gotta introduce you to someone.
Oh my God, it would be so cringe. We're literally just gonna do like the slow circle. You know what I mean? Like,
you're afraid.
Oh my God, I wish I don't even want to do it. Like weddings are so, when you boil it down, like weddings are kind of cringe, but they're beautiful. Like you look back and you're like, oh, I'm so happy I did that. But like, having so much attention is kind of nuts.
What about, are you going to do a father-daughter dance or mother-son dance?
We are. I'm probably going to change during the mother-son dance. That's, and then immediately after, we're going to do, this is actually very sweet. We're going to do like a couple dance where like all the couples are invited on the dance floor.
Oh, cute. I love that.
And then we're going to one by one kick people off. Like if you're just dating, leave the dance floor. If you are engaged, leave the dance floor. If you have been married under 1 year, 5 years, etc. Because Jared's grandparents have been together for like 65 years.
So it's going to be
just going to be them on the dance floor.
That's really
and
cute.
then as they're dancing, we're going to wheel out the cake and like cut it with them.
Sweet. That's so cute. Is there anything that in your planning process, I mean, I kind of asked you like what surprised you.
Yeah.
Talk to me about unexpected costs.
Oh my God. Alterations are crazy. Flowers are so expensive. And actually, like literally everything is expensive. There's nothing that isn't expensive. Everything you think is going to be somewhat affordable isn't. Even if you DIY things, it's still expensive.
Mm-hmm. Sometimes more expensive.
Sometimes more expensive, and so much. And you don't really have the time. I don't have the time to DIY things as much as I wish I had this like pipe dream that I was going to DIY the chargers. I was going to like learn how to crochet.
Excuse me? You were going to crochet 125 chargers when you've never done it before?
It was a pipe dream.
Then what were you going to do with these 125? You were going to give them away?
Give them away.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, We're not doing that. We're not even having chargers. Also, a charger? $12 for a charger that you're just setting a plate on? No. We're nixing that. That's gone.
Okay. Is there anything about your wedding that you want to share as we wrap up?
I do want to shout out my my like designer girly pops, like my illustrators. They killed it. My wedding invitations and all of my like day of signage. Her Instagram is like the bird. I think it's like _ like the bird. Her name is Heron. She is incredible. She's such a talented little.
She hand drew a bunch of stuff.
Hand drew everything. Hand painted, watercolored.
How did you find her?
Through a friend of a friend.
Oh,
and it was actually my friend Abby, who I also want to shout out. She owns a Bode in Soho or Nolita area, and she's embroidering everything for us. And she introduced me to her. And also my friend Jordan, who watercolored this beautiful floral print that we then are printing on our linens.
Oh, wow.
As a custom linen. I'm so excited about
So
them.
you did do a lot of like very like personalized elements of the wedding.
I tried to make everything a little bit personal because I thought it was so sweet and beautiful, and like I can take those linens home, wash them, and like reuse them, give them away. But that print is ours. So like in a few years, maybe I will put it on a wallpaper and use it as my nursery wallpaper or something like that. So I wanted things to have longevity that I could use. And for example, like our bar signs, we are naming our cocktails after our cats, and we're having them, instead of just printed, we're having them embroidered onto a piece of cloth and framed so that I can take those home and put them in my kitchen, sort of vibe.
So cute.
Yeah.
What are the cocktails?
We're doing a Gigi and tonic. And then we're doing an El Diablo margarita, which is a spicy margarita because our cat Pablo is just like a bad boy. And we call him Pablo Diablo all the time.
That's really cute.
Yeah, it's like very millennial of me.
I love it. A lot of wedding vendors have a bone to pick with content creators getting married.
Okay.
Because they say that there is misinformation being spread.
Oh, God. About what?
Just about how much things cost and all that stuff.
It's expensive. Like
No, not that it's expensive. They're saying that they're like, oh, this I got for cheap, or I got this, and they're like misrepresenting how much things cost.
Oh, I see. Yeah. I think it also depends like where you live.
Yeah.
Everything in the Northeast that I've seen is really expensive.
Yeah.
And if you can DIY something, you still have to like the time and the cost of everything is still going to be high because of the amount of people you have.
For sure. Were there any things that you learned on TikTok that you, when planning your wedding, that you thought was true or false?
Oh my God, yes. Oh my God, yes. I haven't put it into test because my wedding has not happened yet, but we have 14 tables, and someone on TikTok was like, do not name your tables numbers. Name them something else because people get offended if they're at table 14 and not table 1. So I was like, oh my God, I think I might be offended if I was like at table 11. You know, like I thought we were closer, you know? So we're naming our tables streets that we lived on.
Oh, that's cute.
Yeah. And we grew up on and like where we met, stuff like that. So that's something that I would say that I saw on TikTok and I was like, I'm putting that into practice.
Love that.
Because no one's going to be like, oh my God, I was at table 11. No, they won't even know.
That's a good tip.
Yeah.
That's a cute idea.
Yeah.
I love that. Well, I'm so excited for you. Congratulations. By the time this comes out, you're married.
Yes.
And I'm excited to share all the photos.
Oh, I'm so excited. It's going to be amazing. My photographer and videographer are incredible. I'm so excited.
This has been the Loverly Wedding Podcast. We are hosted by Kelly Khalil, produced by Shaylin Carroll, Kayla Fitzgerald, Emily Feig, and Jennifer Alvarado. Watch the podcast on YouTube by subscribing to our channel, and follow us and listen to us on Spotify, iTunes, and every major RSS feed.